Hello, and today I'm going to teach you how to play Susano like a pro. I've been playing Susano a lot lately, and I think it was about time to hit you with the tips and tricks I've learned, as well as the build I've had the most success with. So we're first going to go into his divine trait. It's going to be katana combos. While Storm Katana is active, the cooldown of your dodge is reduced by 1.25 seconds. This comes in very handy, because if you've watched anything I've done with Susano, if you've seen me in battle lately while I'm playing this awesome character, you'll notice I'll be dodging all over the place, and there is another reason I'm doing it when I have my Storm Katana activated. It's because later on in this video you're going to see how I complete this off. So we're going to go in now to the minor trait. For the minor trait, we're going to use Tailwinds. Gain 15% movement speed for 4 seconds after using Swirling Tempest. Now this is a wonderful thing. That extra movement speed is nice. You can use it to get away. You can use it to, let's say, come in faster and attack your enemies, or just catch them off guard because they can't keep up with your speed. The next minor trait we're going to use is Windstorm. Attacks against enemies trapped by Swirling Tempest deal an additional 2 damage and 20% knockback, up to 6 damage per attack. This right here, in my personal opinion, is beautiful. What makes this beautiful is that extra knockback. It helps especially when your enemy is close enough to high vulnerability. So we'll say when they're in that orange to red section of vulnerability. Now for the final minor trait, we're going to use Flash Step. Hold heavy attacks deal an additional 10% knockback and travel an extra 2 meters. Now the reason I use this is not because of the knockback, but simply because of the 2 meters. With Susano, there's one thing I've started to realize, especially since he's been nerfed a lot, is the fact that I'm very bad when it comes to the range of Susano. So I'm like, okay, that extra 2 meters helps me land that hold heavy attack. And let me tell you, I've eliminated so many people out because of it. Since we don't see a lot of Susano players anymore, people expect the hold heavy range to be a certain distance. That extra 2 meters, let me tell you, is going to have you get a lot of success in your games. Now we're going to go on to Greater Blessings. Now for Greater Blessings, I use 2 different options. These are the ones I found the most success with, and the first one is Athena's Wisdoms. Hints against you deal a reduced 20% knockback for 3 seconds after dodging. That extra knockback protection is wonderful, especially with Katana's combo as my divine trait, when I'm able to dodge a lot more frequently, which means a lot of the time when I'm playing Susano, I'm protecting myself from being knocked back because I know the skill gap for me and a lot of players with other characters, and when it comes to Susano, I may not be the best. However, I'm making sure my build is acquired to my taste so I can ensure I get that victory. Now the next Greater Blessing I do switch on and off is going to be Hercules' Strength. Hitting an enemy with a heavy attack grants your next hold heavy or air heavy an additional 17.5% knockback. Now I do use this every so often and it's always hilarious. When I'm using this, I'm going for that early knockout. I'm planning on just eliminating you out in this matchup without expecting a long game. So that right there covers the overall build. Now I have a little tips and tricks that I've learned with Susano that I want to share with you right now. And one of the main tips that I have enjoyed doing is learning how to use his mobility properly. His mobility is a lot like Thanatos. Yes, you can reactivate it, but most of the time that is not what you want to do. What you want to do is use it just to get higher elevation so you can continue your air flurry attack, meaning you can use it while somebody's knocked out in the arena and you use it just to get that elevation. Then you go in with that awesome air light into air heavy, knocking them straight out of the map early on. You can even use it to just retreat and chill up in the sky. That is wonderful when you're going up against characters like Loki or Izanami who want to do invisibility or just buying yourself some time. Another tip I've learned to use with Susano that has been helpful is using Katana Combo's divine trait to its fullest. Learning how to use Storm Katana is so powerful. Personally, I believe the first rotation and the last rotation is the most unique in terms of it's the ones I find the most success landing. The second one is actually pretty hard in my personal opinion. And learning how to use it to either keep it alive just to have that proc from katana combos where now you can dodge more frequently, or use it to interrupt your opponent simply so you can hit them out. Now the next tip I'm going to give you here is probably the main tip, is using his ultimate. Susano's ultimate is the worst one in the game in terms of landing it on your enemies. It is super easy to dodge. It looks amazing though, especially when you catch off your enemies. Now when you're in 1v1 or 2v2, the best way I found success into doing this is waiting for them to come back in the arena. So you're hoping they use their dodge to ensure they can come back on the land and you activate your ultimate, catching them out. The only time you're really going to catch them on the land is if you know they have no dodge available to them or mobility. And that's really it when it comes to Susano in my personal opinion. Yes, there are little tips and tricks here and there that I probably have missed, or just not something you have to explain. You just really have to play the character, learning his range and what is very good to do with him. Obviously, we all know with Susano, it's all about the air lights into air heavy. He's a wonderful character that isn't played as much since he's been been nerfed to the ground. Well, he's more balanced in my opinion. They did a perfect job balancing him off. So with that being said, that kind of ends this video. I hope this build helps you, and I hope any tips and tricks in this video also gives you an idea of what you should do with him, how to turn around fights, and maybe soon we'll find more Susano players out in the game. Alright, that's it. I'll see you later. GG.